Governor Ron DeSantis is in a showdown with the duly elected top prosecutor in Orlando, Monique Worrell. Last month, DeSantis suspended the Democratic state attorney, citing an aspect of the state constitution that allows him to suspend a state officer. In a release, Governor DeSantis' office said Worrell was suspended for, quote, neglecting her duty to faithfully prosecute crime in her jurisdiction. Worrell has sued to try and get her job back, and she joins us tonight. Thank you so much for your time. Governor DeSantis has suspended you, so are you unable to perform any duties of your job? Has it given any indication if your suspension will be lifted?
Thanks for having me. Good evening. So, no, I'm unable to perform the duties of state attorney at this time. However, I'm in a very unique position because I am still the duly elected state attorney. And as state attorney, I am not permitted by statute to engage in the private practice of law. So while I'm suspended without pay, I am sitting kind of on the sidelines watching someone else who was not elected by the 397,000 people in the Central Florida area perform my duties on a day-to-day basis, but also not being able to practice law.
So essentially, you've been fired by the governor.
Well, not fired, because the governor doesn't have the authority to fire, but he does have the authority to suspend in very specific circumstances, which the Constitution describes as, among them, misfeasance, malfeasance, neglect of duty, commission of a felony, drunkenness, none of which I actually have committed. So this was a constitutional overreach by the governor. He's abused his discretion. His executive order did not state any of the constitutional grounds, and the law is very clear here. An executive order can't be general or conclusory in nature, which this executive order actually was, and that they have to state with specificity what the grounds are, the constitutional grounds.
So to me, it sounds like you're saying legally he doesn't have a leg to stand on. So what do you have to do at this point to get your job back?
So on Wednesday, I filed suit with the Florida Supreme Court against the governor, and now we're waiting on that case to be heard by the Florida Supreme Court.
The governor cited a few examples for crimes where he says you failed to pursue mandatory minimum sentences for criminals. Is it typical for prosecutors to use their own discretion when pursuing sentences?
Oh, you've got it exactly right. So what the governor's doing here is he's attacking prosecutorial discretion. But the American Bar Association has laid out the standards for prosecutors very clearly. And it says there that the prosecutor's job is to seek justice, not merely to convict. And what the governor did is he put together a lot of numbers saying that I fall short of prosecuting and I come in last in the place of incarceration in the state. And the reality is I don't come in last. The governor has targeted me politically, and this executive order is not based in fact. It's not based in law. It's based on the governor's whims.
So far, courts have declined to reinstate Hillsborough prosecutor Andrew Warren, who DeSantis suspended last year, as you know. Do you think that your lawsuit will succeed where Hill so far has failed?
So I'll tell you that while neither State Attorney Warren nor myself should have been suspended, I'll tell you that our circumstances are very different. The facts of our cases are very different, and I expect the court to review my case based on the facts in my case.
There are some who question if Florida is currently being run as a democracy. What are your thoughts on the direction of the state at this time politically?
Well, we are slipping very quickly into authoritarianism. And, you know, what's concerning about that is that this individual is also running to be president of the United States of America. And that democracy is in danger, not just here in the state of Florida, but throughout the entire country. So everyone should be paying attention, because if for some reason he were to be elected, the entire country has to worry about having elections overturned in the way that he's made a practice of doing here in the state.
Monique Worrell, we thank you so much for your time, and please continue to keep us posted on your case.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.